struggle, my friend and my...
Hello.
It is that time again.
We are back with episode 2 of the relationship series. I know last video we asked you guys to comment under the video and let us know if you had anything to say or your opinion. So the question we got was, the last topic was what was it? What does trust look like in a relationship? So the question we got from the last video was, do we think the answers vary from just a couple that's dating versus a couple that's married? I personally said no, because usually most people that are dating, they're dating for a reason, or at least I feel like it should be, not just dating for fun. So if you're dating for a reason and to go somewhere, whatever you establish when you're just dating and building, it should carry over into your marriage.
That's exactly how I would have said it.
Thank you. So I definitely think the answers and the questions should really kind of, be the same. That if you're not with the person you're with, you don't see it long term, you're just having fun, then maybe not. But usually when you date, you're dating for a reason. Yeah. So before we get into this week's, don't forget, what are you supposed to do, babe?
Like. Subscribe. We already got 3 fingers up.
Because you said like, subscribe. What's the third thing?
Comment.
And share. He's working on that one. But yeah, so make sure you guys do those 4 things. How to deal with not bringing the past relationship into the next. So basically, how to go into a new relationship new, fresh. I think the number one issue with when you're dating and people are always saying the same thing keeps happening to me. I keep running into the same people. The same situation keeps happening. And because I feel like you're taking what happened from the past relationship into this one. For instance, our last video was about trust. If the last person you had a lot of trust issues with because they, may have lied, may have not been honest, they're just sneaky, they weren't holding up their end of being trustworthy. You don't want to bring that into the next relationship, because that's not going to help you at all. I feel like if you go into a new relationship and if that person that you're with, male or female, hasn't given you a reason to not trust them, or hasn't shown you any signs of being sneaky, then you should trust them until they give you a reason not to trust them.
Yeah. Another thing, people always say I always run into the same type of person. You're doing something that causes you to pick the same type of person. But I feel like that's for a different video.
Right. But at the same time, what he's saying, look for something different. Stop looking for
what
the
you're
same things,
with.
right, that you've been looking for in the past that's made you have these past issues. If one person said the old relationship, the person always got upset with you, or maybe yelled at you or raised their voice at you or something like that, and you didn't like it, okay, you didn't like it, but make sure you don't take that frustration and anger from that person into the next one, and the next thing you know, you're the person yelling and screaming and doing all that in the new relationship. You want to make sure that you stay true to you and your standards of what you want in a relationship. Don't like downgrade it because it didn't work in the past one. Just because the past one had problems opening your car door, this one may not.
Yeah. So one thing, go into it with expectations, but not expectations from the previous relationship.
Right.
Like Jonte said, stick to your standards and what you want and expect that. Don't expect them to be like the last so and so.
Right.
Because then you're not giving that person a fair chance.
Right. Yeah. That was good, babe. That was good. But basically, what he said, I really feel like you just gave the summary of the whole video.
I'm sorry.
No. That was really good. But I totally agree with him. I also think that you shouldn't, like he said, expectations. You shouldn't go into a new relationship and I'm trying to see how to put this. You shouldn't go into the new relationship and compare everything that has happened in the past to your present. So if you can't, this is kind of touching on another subject, but if you can't go into this new relationship with the new mindset, clear and ready for a new relationship, then don't go.
Yeah, I mean, not all relationships work.
Right.
At the same time, that doesn't mean you hop into a new one because the last one didn't work. There's nothing wrong with being by yourself, being alone, getting to know yourself, just cooling by yourself for a while until you kind of got over the past.
Definitely. Everything you said was...
Yeah, because if you go from hurt relationship, hurt feelings, to a new relationship, you're bringing hurt, old feelings to new relationship, which doesn't get a fair chance to start.
Right.
So you got new person with hurt old feelings, becomes old relationship, becomes new person, hurt old feelings to new person, becomes old relationship. So definitely take some time in between to gather yourself.
Right, because then it can, if not, it can become a pattern.
Yeah,
if you're doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Then you just in deep.
Right.
You got a lot to sift through.
Right. And I also think that if you're going into a new relationship, look at yourself as well and how you were in your past relationship, things you didn't like about yourself in that relationship, things you loved about yourself in that relationship. Maybe your communication was good in that relationship, but like maybe
things moved a little too fast.
Yeah, that's a good one. Or things moved slow, but your communication wasn't there, or you wasn't trusting them. You were always nagging and searching for something, even though there was nothing to be found. Things like that. So I would look at that stuff and make sure that you're not taking that stuff into the new relationship as well. You're coming in new, you know, not new like a brand new person, but a better version. Next one, well, same video, but they kind of tie together. It's how to know when you're ready to move on. So I think we touched that a little bit, basically with what I just said and what Jeremiah was saying, taking time to yourself. Number one thing that I always say and have learned, if you can't love yourself and who you are, things about you, your faults, your strengths, your little quirky things, then it's gonna be hard to be in any relationship, honestly, even a friendship, but any relationship, because you're always gonna, like, if you're beating yourself up, it'd be easy to beat someone else up too.
And on the other hand, if you're always beating yourself up, it's gonna be easier for you to hop in relationships because you're gonna seek attention and validation from everybody. Whereas if you kind of have a higher, I don't want to say self-esteem, but if
self-esteem,
yeah, I guess if you have higher self-esteem about yourself, then that'll probably prevent you from some people,
right?
Because you'll be able to detect, oh, he's just or she's just such and such, or just saying such and such. So I agree with that. But move on could mean move on to a new relationship, move on from one that's not really working out, and move on to the next step in a relationship, which again ties back into communication with everything. You know how to communicate with yourself, which may sound weird. My grandma said, you can talk to yourself, just don't answer yourself. But sometimes you need to have the little conversations in your head.
Right.
Because when people ask for advice, they usually know what to do. They just don't want to listen to themselves. So.
Definitely. And I definitely also think that a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to talk about it too soon, or what are we, or where are we, or what's the point of this? I don't see no problem with talking to your significant other about why y'all dating and where y'all want to go with this relationship. There's no problem talking about that. That's another, like Jeremiah said, communication. Because if you guys can talk early, can talk soon, can, hear each other out and determine what y'all want to do and where y'all want to go, it'll make things easier. You won't have to go through a relationship guessing game. Well, is this like long term? What does he really want? What does she really want? Just talk about it from the jump. And I feel like if you talk about it, then it'll also be easier to transition to the next step of, I don't know, maybe you're talking first and then you officially start, dating with a title and maybe engagement. I know some people like to move in together before they get married. We did not, but that was our own personal preference. So even things like that, you want to talk about that before you do that.
Yeah.
So just kind of you won't always want to be on the same page. So you can prepare for those next steps in the relationship, and you want to be, like Jeremiah said, if it is dealing with a new relationship, you want to be on the same page with yourself, mentally, emotionally, spiritually.
Yeah, because you don't want to think you're over something, go into something new, that actually be a good person, but you can't tell because you're too busy waiting on them to treat you like the last person did. Because then nothing they do is gonna be received with, like, you're not gonna be genuine. They're gonna be genuine, but you're not gonna receive it as an honest act because you're probably thinking you're not over what happened before, so you're thinking, basically turning everything into a negative. And you may not be doing it on purpose. Like, it may not be a thought in your head that goes, oh, he only opened my door to cover up the fact that he's probably doing such and such. Like, you may not think like that intentionally, but subconsciously you may not be giving 100% or all in because you think this is going to backfire some type of way, so let me be reserved just a little bit, so when it does I can be like, I knew it, so you don't look all the way hurt.
Right. That's good. Sounds good. And don't hold back. Be yourself. Don't start the relationship being fake or trying to be who you think that person will want you to be, or who you think that person will want to take out.
Right. Because if you pretend in the beginning, you gotta pretend forever.
Right.
You're gonna get tired of pretending. And then one morning you're gonna forget to pretend, and they're gonna be like, who is this?
Right.
So.
And I think the number one line that we need to get rid of is all men are the same and all women act up. Because it ain't true. Maybe all the men you've been with are the same. And maybe all the females you've been with act up. But like I said, if you sit down and reevaluate yourself and what you want, what you like, what you don't like, and actually look for someone who is not just about the looks, then maybe you won't end up with that same man.
Yeah,
that's not really what we say, but I can't say that word on YouTube.
If you got family or friends who are like real with you, ask them. Be like, it seems like I'm picking the same type of person. And have you noticed any similarities between so and so and so and so? Because if you got a good friend, they're gonna tell you. You know, family always tell you.
Right. Even if you don't want to hear it.
Right. So, because if you're picking the same person's coming in and out of your life, seems like something's causing you to pick that person. You have a certain type. Well, if this type always ends in the relationship ending, you need to analyze your type. What's causing you to pick these people that doesn't seem to go anywhere?
Yep. That's definitely it.
But yeah, this one's it's a little touchy, just because it could be different case by case. Right. Some people are okay to be by themselves for a while until they know they found the right person. Some people aren't okay to be by themselves and either need to be in a relationship, or when they get out of one, they need to be in another one, so they go into another one. Some people have a good relationship, but then it just kind of ends bad, so they kind of take some time to themselves.
And some people have the self-confidence, the self-esteem, the self-love, and all that, and the relationship still doesn't work out.
Yeah.
But nothing is guaranteed. But I always say, if you're gonna do anything, do it to the best of your ability and put your best effort in it. And if you've tried all you can and you've done all you feel like you can do, and you're still not getting the results you want, you're still not seeing the success in your relationship like you want,
and you've communicated with that person and nothing's changing, not communicating like you snapping at them, I've been doing such and such, but you're not doing this for me, or you subtweeting them in real life.
Right, actually like sitting down and talking with them, and y'all done that, then And there's nothing wrong with coming to that conclusion together, calmly and rationally.
If anything, it's more mature.
Right. I do believe, I'm a strong believer of everything happens for a reason, and what's meant to be will happen.
Yeah.
So it may just not be your time.
It doesn't mean, if it doesn't work out, that doesn't mean one person's a bad person, the other person's a bad person. You can both be great people, just not for each other.
Right.
So, we've both known people where that's happened. It's not that either person was bad or worse than the other. It's just not matches.
Right. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you're better off being friends with someone. Truly friends. Not friends with benefits. Not
That's true.
let's hook up every now and then. Or, you pretend to be my boyfriend when I need one. No, sometimes it's better to just have a true friend who's going to keep it open and honest with you. And if they just happen to be a better friend, there's nothing wrong with that.
That's also true.
So you just gotta, look at everything. Examine. But I feel like this is one that, like Jeremiah said, touchy case by case. If you guys have any comments or remarks about this topic, anything you feel strongly about that we have already mentioned, leave it down in the comments. Let us know. And just like this time, we'll address it next time in the next video. We also wanted to start sharing some date ideas with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
That could help with communication or just enjoying each other's company. So, one thing that I liked that we have been doing recently for people who may be living together, even if you're not living together, I feel like you can still do this. But we took the mattress from our room and we put it out in the living room in front of the TV and just got a big blanket and pillows. And we played the PlayStation together, got some food, and we just relaxed and chilled and played games and
watch movies.
Watch movies. And we just laid on the mattress in the bed. It was a new area in the house,
scenery, kind of.
And it was still something fun to do that we had never done before. And if you live together, you can do that. If you don't, you can do that. You can even make a patty on the floor. That's what we call it, but a pallet is the accurate word, but that's what we call it.
Put some blankets
in my
down
house. Make
on
a patio
the
on
ground.
the floor.
Put some blankets down on the ground.
Yeah, blankets, a comforter, some sheets, some sleeping bags, some pillows, and just get all your favorite food, just snacks, and just play games. Where there's the game system, board games, ladies, give PlayStation, Xbox, whichever your man got. Give it a try, because you might actually like it.
Yeah.
Or be good at it. At first, I was like, you're going to get a PlayStation, but now, I love Call of Duty.
Right.
So, yeah, that's I would say if you're gonna do little dates like that and do them often, make sure that you're doing things that both of you are interested in. So he wanted to play the game, so that's what we did. And then the movies, I picked the movies we watched. So make it enjoyable for both people. You don't always have to do what one person wants to do, and you can plan together. The guy does not always have to plan everything you do, and neither does the female.
That's true too, but that might need to go in the next video also.
Right. I feel like there's a lot of things that we could talk about as far as relationships, but yeah, just wanted to share that one date idea. We'll share another one in the next video.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I said, if you have anything else, you can comment down below and we'll talk about them.
Yeah.
And once again, thank you guys for watching and supporting us this far. We're now halfway there to 100 subscribers, so
halfway.
Hopefully we'll get there. Thank you to everyone who has already subscribed. And yeah, sorry, babe. We'll be back for our next one.
Next Tuesday.